This video is part of a series of videos showing how I make a quiet book using dies. To learn more about this project, please see the introductory video. This page for our quiet book has a bear in a truck. The top of the bed of the truck is open to make a pocket. When we make the facing page, you'll see what goes in that pocket, but for now, let's make this page. This and all the pages of this quiet book are cut using Eileen Hall's Handbound journal die. I cut a layer from felt, and I also cut it out of printed fabric. These are actually soft flannel fabrics. I backed them first with Heat and Bond Light, and then I put them through the die to cut them. I'll use the blue polka dot for the sky, and the white and black for the ground. I cut these two panels in half at 3 inches. Next, I removed the paper backing, and then I ironed these into place onto the felt page. Now I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll sew a decorative stitch straight across where the two panels meet. I chose this fun meandering stitch. And now let's work on the truck. The die set I used for the truck is called Easter Bunny Truck from KSCraft. So this die set comes with the truck and lots of accessories to go in the truck. And there are add-on sets available, one for babies and one for Valentine's and Christmas and other holidays, I think even St. Patrick's Day. But I'm only using the dies that make the truck here. I cut the main part of the truck from pink felt. I ironed Heat and Bond Light to the back of the felt before I cut it. I cut the back part of the truck bed from pink felt, but without the Heat and Bond, because I'm making this into a pocket. I cut the tailgate from felt that is treated with Heat and Bond. And here's a tiny license plate cut from white felt, treated first with Heat and Bond. Same with the two tires that are cut from black felt with Heat and Bond. I got a little creative with the chrome bumper and the side mirrors. These are cut from permanent vinyl. It would have been better, I think, to use iron-on vinyl, but I had this silver permanent vinyl on hand, and I think it worked fine. As I said, I also cut the side mirrors from this as well. Even though this isn't iron-on, I wonder if applying a little heat will help it to adhere. But I'll also add a little glue when I put these into place later. For the brake lights, I really wish that I had some red metallic vinyl, but I don't. So what I did have was this shiny poly ribbon, the kind that florists used to use or that's used for gift ribbons. I don't really have a use for this ribbon, so I was really happy to find a way to use it. I prepared it first with Heat and Bond, and then I cut it out with the dies to make the brake lights. And I think it made really good brake lights. Next, I thought it would be fun to actually add a window to the back of our truck. So I used a piece of clear vinyl. This is a vinyl that you can get from the fabric store. It's sold by the yard. And people use this to cover tables, sometimes to protect their tablecloths, and also to protect furniture. I think grandmas are famous for using this to protect their sofas. But it makes a really great material for quiet books because it's flexible and easy to find. So what I did is I used the die to trace the shape with a Sharpie, and then I cut it out with a considerable margin. Now all that's left is who's driving this truck. I looked through my dies for a good candidate, and I decided on this bear from Creative Life. Even though the die has a muzzle part that's included, when I iron the felt piece, the muzzle disappears, or at least it's less noticeable. I also cut this piece out from a piece of felt that was treated first with Heat and Bond Light. Okay, are you ready to put this together? The first layer to go down is the bear and the tires. First, I figure out placement. And then I take it to my iron and press to activate the heat and bond glue. Now I'm ready to adhere the main part of the truck. First, I'll place the vinyl for the back window. And when I take this to the iron, I want to be careful not to touch the iron to this vinyl. So I'll avoid all of those areas where the vinyl are and just press the felt in place. Next, I want to iron the tailgate to the back part of the truck bed. And next, I'm going to take that part to my sewing machine and sew a zigzag stitch across the top, and that will be the top of the pocket. Next, I'll use that same zigzag stitch to sew the perimeter of the truck. Now, I'm not great at sewing, so I take it slow and I stop and pivot often. When you're stitching the perimeter of something with a zigzag stitch, you want to make sure that you only pivot with the needle down on the outside stitch. Now listen, the stitching isn't perfect, but it's okay. And when we add the bumper and the mirrors, you won't notice the mistakes as much. And when I add the bumper, I use a little dab of Bigz 3-in-1 to help it adhere better. And the same with the mirrors. Now before I place the license plate, I think I'll stitch the word hello on it. I'll write the word first with a friction marker. This is just to help me with spacing. The ink will disappear when I iron the license plate in place. Which is what I do next, along with ironing the brake lights in place. And one final detail. I want to stitch a running stitch around the license plate. Now it's not easy to stitch through that metallic vinyl, but it's only a few stitches. And there we have it, another adorable page for our quiet book. Up next, the facing page, where the mystery will be solved, what goes in the back of the truck. Are you curious? Meet me back here and I'll tell all. Thanks for watching, friends. Hey, if you like this project and want to see more like it, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Take care.